Want to know the secret to becoming a time ninja? It's not about hustling more. It isn't about working longer hours. It's not about trying to cram more in either. Actually, what the game changer is how you invest your time. Hi, I'm Dartnell, time and energy management coach, and I'm going to teach you something that is going to absolutely blow your mind today. Okay, and it's a concept called ROT, return on time, and it's a bit like return of investment, but for your time, not your money. And this is a concept that I created when I realized that actually I don't need more time. I need to make use of the time that I've already got. And when I started looking at this new way of managing my time and what time really is, oh my God, it was an absolute game changer. And now this is how I live, and this is what I teach my clients as well. So I'm so glad that you found this video, because we are going to dive straight in today. So in this video, I am going to show you three main things. First of all, I'm going to show you what ROT actually is and why it even matters. Also, we're going to bust some myths today, and then I am going to show you how to actually apply it in real life to your everyday. So what are you waiting for? Let's dive straight in. Now, this might get some people's backs up, but I don't actually think you can do everything. Yes, I am strong, independent woman vibes, and I believe you can do anything, but I don't believe you can do everything right at this time. And the old Alice, oh my God, I tried to be superwoman and I tried to do everything now. I was the type of person that if I set a goal, I wanted to achieve it yesterday. I actually remember having a mini breakdown one year on the 6th of January because I felt like I was behind on my goals. Like, seriously, we don't have to do everything right now. So we need to bust that myth that we can do anything, but we can't do everything right now. Now, the reason why that's such an important distinction to make is because you have to choose. One of the things that I always say to my clients is, what's a priority? What are you choosing to do? Because you have to be careful where you lay your time, where you lay your energy, where you lay your focus, and understanding, is it high ROT or low ROT, is going to help you work out where to prioritize. Because as I said, not all tasks are created equal or going to give you an equal return. So ROT is going to be a great decider. It's going to help you make those decisions on what to do, what to prioritize, and also what to ditch if necessary. So this is making sense, right, lovely? This is making sense. Not all tasks or time is created equal. So the next question then is, well, how do I decide? How do I work out if something's high ROT or low ROT? And how do I apply this in my everyday life? The question that you need to ask yourself is so simple. It's just, what is the return on time on this activity? And most people, to be honest, they never stop to ask that. When I introduce this concept to my clients, they're like, oh my God, like game changer, because they're just so busy. They haven't actually ever given themselves the chance to really think about this question. And just because something is on your to-do list or somebody asks you to do something, whether that's at home or at work, doesn't mean you actually have to do it, you know. And when things are getting thrown at us left, right, and Chelsea, like, everything feels urgent, right? But when you start measuring ROT, this return on time, it's going to radically help you make different choices, better choices, the ones that are going to serve you, move the needle forward, and be right for you. And everyone's version of right is different, but the way that I like to think about it is it aligned with your values? And if so, that probably is the right choice for you. So let's have a little look at this in a little bit more detail, because high ROT activities probably look something like this. These are things that you know long term are going to be good for you, for your time and for your energy. So this might be things like meal prepping or getting your week organized. It could be going to the gym. Like, these are the kind of activities that if you put a little bit of time, effort, and energy in, you're going to get heaps back. So this is a perfect example of a high ROT activity. So for example, I had one client and they didn't realize how important planning was until I made them start doing it. And then they suddenly realised that actually, by investing just half an hour a week into planning the whole entire week, they were so much more organised. They didn't leave things to the last minute. They weren't caught short. They weren't trying to last minute dash around, do stuff. And this actually bought them hours every week. So that's a perfect example of a high ROT activity because they've just done half an hour, but they've got more hours back. So start thinking about that. Like, where can I invest a bit of my time to get more back later? That would be a great example of a high ROT. So let's now go to the other end of the spectrum. Let's look at the low ROT tasks. These are the ones that probably keep you super busy, but don't actually yield you any results. Or if they do yield a result, it will be small in comparison to a high ROT one. So the classic ones are things like scrolling social media unnecessarily. It could also be things like trying to get your inbox clear down to zero. The ones that take a lot of your time but don't give you a result, maybe it's things like over polishing a task. I had a client, oh my God, classic example, where every time she went to do a client presentation or pitch, she obviously wanted it to be perfect. She wanted to win this client over. But she got to the point where she was over delivering. She was giving too much. But the extra hour, 2 hours, 5 hours she was putting in didn't actually buy her any extra result back. So that gets to a point, courtesy of law of diminishing returns, where actually an input in doesn't equal an output out. So therefore, you might do an extra hour tinkering and tailoring and making that presentation perfect, but for what? For what purpose? So we've got to be careful of those kind of things that keep us super busy, but don't actually move the needle forward on our goals. Now, another way to apply ROT is to also help you make that decision of what's a priority, because it isn't always so clear cut. It isn't always necessarily, I am going to prioritize the things that are the biggest or the most urgent even, or the one with the most pressing deadline. Somebody once asked me if I prioritized based on what was coming first. I was like, oh my God, no, as if prioritization was that easy. Not at all, because it's not about how soon something's coming into my reality that I have to deal with it. Like, it isn't that simple. Now, this is where ROT can really help you, because I know so many of us, especially as entrepreneurs, can really struggle with decisions. We either get decision-making fatigue or we just struggle with prioritization. So let's use this as an example. Let's say we've got an hour, okay? And you've got option A. Option A, you can update your Canva graphics, you can make them super pretty for your Instagram grid. Or option B, I could spend that hour following up with all the warm clients, all the warm leads, that contacted me last week to follow up with them, seeing if they want to come work with me. Now, both feel important, but actually, which is going to give me the biggest result? Making my Instagram pretty or potentially getting a new client? It's obviously a no-brainer when we ask it like that. Obviously, we want to focus on getting the clients. We know that that's going to move the needle forward on our goals. So the highest ROT activity there is obviously not the Canva graphics, as fun as that is. Obviously, the activity we want to be focusing on, if we've only got that hour, is to follow up on the leads. So when we start approaching things with this ROT concept, it helps us make decisions as well as help us get maximum bang for our buck when it comes to the limited time that we have. And remember, ROT isn't just about money. Okay, I just gave an example there that was just quite practical and it did focus on money. However, it can also focus on things like giving back your time, giving back your energy, something that's going to improve your relationships, your creativity, your long-term growth. So when you start looking at your calendar and your schedule and your to-do list through the lens of ROT, you're asking yourself, you're stopping to ask, do I have time for this? Is this worth my time? And in the limited time that I've got, where is it best placed? And this might seem like a really subtle shift, but seriously, this is going to help you be an absolute time ninja, sharp and intentional with the time that you have. So guys, you don't need more hours. What you need is more ROT, return on time. I want you to protect your time. I want you to prioritize your time. And this is how you're going to get more freedom, more energy, more results without adding more to your workload. Time ninjas don't cram more in. They're sensible with the time that they already have. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed and drained, remember this, it's not about cramming more in, it's about getting more bang for your buck for your time. And if this has resonated with you as well, I'm going to be diving deeper into this concept of time management mindset in a future video. So check that out below. So if you click this today, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe so that you can get more support with your time and your energy going forward. My name is Alice Dartnell and it is my absolute mission to help you unfuck your flow and take action without the procrastination, the overwhelm or the shiny object syndrome either. So thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and I will see you in a future video. Losing time because you're focusing on those fuck's sake.